Hi, this is Dan Elder from Kidasa Software. Today I'll be talking about custom symbols inside Milestones Professional. In Milestones Professional, you have two options for custom symbols. The first option is to use a picture in a bitmap format, and you can use that as your symbol. The second option is to draw your custom symbol yourself. I'm going to be covering the second option today since I already have a video about creating a bitmap symbol in Milestones Professional. If you do have any bitmap symbols, I will be covering how to use custom symbols to clip out the white space behind bitmap symbols. So stick around for that. So to get started with drawing a symbol, I'm going to go to the Tools tab. And over here on the right side, we've got Create, Edit, or Manage Custom Symbols. So I'm going to click on that. And then you should get this symbol drawing, symbol maker dialog. That pops up. So the blue lines are the original resolution of the custom symbols, and you can see in version 2025 we have much higher resolution, so I think 10 times as many grid lines there. So if you do have version 2025, you'll see the higher resolution, and if you don't, then you'll just see the blue lines. You can also, if you go to the Edit tab, you can choose to hide the fine grid. So if it's getting in the way or anything, you can actually hide that. You'll still be able to use it, but you just won't see that finer grid. So I go back to Edit, I can say Show Fine Grid to show that. As you create a custom symbol, you're basically going to click, and then that's going to make a point for the custom symbol. And we do recommend you make the custom symbol as large as possible, so don't just do a small shape in the middle. If you want a shape, just make sure you try to use as much of the space as possible. So just as an example, I'm going to start clicking over here, and that'll be my first point. And as I draw this symbol, you can see over here on the right side, the symbol is kind of being created, and this green space is the fill area. So just keep that in mind. You might need to pay attention over here on the right side to see the actual fill area of the symbol, especially if you have a more complicated shape. So you can see in this case it's kind of drawing over there basically between the first point and the last point, so it's kind of filling an area that you might not think would be filled. But if I continue and just kind of draw the symbol there, you can kind of see how this symbol looks as I create it. I don't actually know what shape this is, but the nice thing is, so if you have created the symbol and you want to maybe move some of these points around, you don't have to go back. So if you press minus, it's going to kind of go back in time, and then you could redraw your symbols or redraw the points there. But if you use the arrow tool right here, you can actually click on one of these points and you can move it. So if you want to just kind of slightly modify it a little, you can just use your arrow tool, your mouse, and kind of click and drag. You can also use the arrows on the keyboard. So I'm just pressing up and down right now, and you can see I'm just kind of moving these points around. So just clicking on these, making sure to use the arrow tool, not the plus tool, because that'll just end up adding more points. You can kind of see the changes get made right there. So I can either click and drag, or I can use the arrows on the keyboard for a more fine point solution. So let's say I'm happy with my shape here. I'm going to go to File, and then I can either choose Save to Symbol File or Save as Embedded Symbol. Embedded Symbol will attach it to the current schedule, and Symbol File will make it external, so you'll need to actually keep that symbol file in the same place if you want to show it on your schedule. So I'm actually going to just save it as embedded symbol, and I'll just call this shape 1 and press save. And so now this is usable in my schedule. So if I close this symbol maker, I'm going to double click on maybe this yellow triangle here on the toolbox. And it's not going to be in standard shapes. Those are the built-in shapes. It's going to be in user-defined shapes. So you should see in this list, it should say embedded, and then whatever you named that symbol. So if you saved it as an embedded symbol, it'll appear right here. If you did save it as a symbol file.sym, it will be looking in your documents folder by default. You can see the default location right there. So that's where you actually need to place it. And you can change that folder in the Tools tab with the Folders button right there. So if you don't like using this folder, you can just change the folder up here, and then it'll look in that folder. Right now, all of these are in my Documents folder. So I can just choose this embedded shape 1, and you should see it on the sample symbol right there. Then I could, if I wanted to, change the fill color, and you can see that get updated right there. I can press OK. And then I've got my beautiful weird kind of shape right here that appears in the toolbox and then also on the schedule itself, since that symbol was linked to that spot in the toolbox. So now let me show you how to use a custom symbol to provide a clipping symbol for your bitmap symbol. So I know I didn't say I was going to cover creating a bitmap symbol, but I will do that really quickly. So I'm going to double click on this symbol right here, and to have a bitmap symbol show up, you just put a bitmap file, make sure it's .bmp, into your Documents folder. Again, that's the default symbol folder location, which you can change in the Tools tab with the Folders button. But I've got this shuttle.bmp, you can see right there, so I'm going to press OK. And then you can see all of these were switched to that symbol, and usually with bitmaps you want to make them a little bit larger. Let me actually just do a size override here, just so we can kind of see that picture a little bit better. Okay, so now if I zoom in, you can see that image right there. This one doesn't have a white background, but if it did, it might look like transparent, and when you go to print it or copy it to PDF or anything like that, you'll notice that the background still shows up. So you have to create a clipping symbol so that you can clip out the background of that image. So let me show you that. So first you need to set up a symbol on your toolbox, go to the Tools tab, create, edit, or manage custom symbols. And I'm going to go to File, and then choose Symbol Overlay. So you need to set up the bitmap in the toolbox to actually choose that symbol overlay. So I'm going to choose that, and then I can see that picture in this drop down. So that's the symbol that I set up right there. I'm going to hit select, and then you can see that image in the background. So I just basically need to trace this symbol, and by tracing the symbol I can do a couple things. I can either just create a actual symbol with this shape using that symbol overlay, or I can use it as a clipping symbol to clip out the background. So I'm going to go actually to the Edit tab and hide the fine grid. That way I can actually see the image a little bit better. So I'm going to choose Hide Fine Grid. And then just using this clicking, I'm just going to click, and it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to kind of create this symbol here, and for the wheels I'll just create some beautiful wheels. And obviously you can spend a lot of time on this, getting it just perfect, but for now I think this looks pretty good. I'll also get this last wheel over here. And you can see on the preview right here, it looks pretty good so far. So let me just continue creating this symbol here. Okay, I'm going to finish off this tail section here. And that looks pretty good. So I can use this either as a normal symbol, or I can use it as a clipping symbol. So I'm going to go to File, Save as Embedded Symbol. I will call it Shuttle. That looks pretty good. And press Save. And I'll close this. So now I should be able to set up one of these as the actual symbol that I just created. So I'm going to go to I'm going to double click on that triangle and go to embedded shuttle.sym, and that looks pretty good. Actually, maybe I'll change the color, just make it blue or something, and press OK. And then I'm going to add this to the schedule. And just to see it a little better, I'll increase the size here. That way it's kind of the same size as that picture right there. And so yeah, that looks pretty good. So I can use this as just a regular symbol. I can draw it anywhere. I can change the color. If I wanted to use it as a clipping symbol, I would actually go back to this image, double click on that on the toolbox. And then you have the option for clipping symbol for printing. So I will need to add it to the toolbox like I did first. That way it'll appear in this list here. So it's this number 6 right here. I can do that and press OK. And so now if I print this out or save it to PDF or anything like that, or PowerPoint, for example, I'll go to Connections, Copy All Pages to PowerPoint. And if you zoom into that PowerPoint, you can see that image is actually clipped. So it's using this symbol as the clipping symbol for this image. So it's great if you've got any background color or anything you want to just get rid of in the picture. And then you can use the clipping symbol and you can see how it looks in like a PowerPoint or PDF or anything like that. And that's pretty much it for this video about clipping symbols and creating custom symbols inside Milestones Professional. If you have any questions, feel free to email support@kidasa.com, and don't forget to visit our website at kidasa.com. Have a nice day.